All right, in today's car news, we got some good stories for you. First up, Lamborghini 2028 Lanzador. It's kind of a crossover. If you look at it, it's not exactly their coupe. It's not as big as the Urus. Huge wide tires here. These pictures are from Lamborghini, and it's going to be about 1,350 horsepower. One thing that was cool was they said this is a very concrete preview of production. So this is going to look a lot like when they ring it out. I mean, super wide tires on this car, which is very, very interesting. Now, a couple other things that they have in this car I found interesting here. I mean, it has a really good stance from the back. Obviously, it's Lamborghini. Lamborghini makes all their stuff ridiculous, but look at this interior. It's a little different here. We got a big screen here, and it looks like this is going to be a screen as well. And then usually where you have a big screen in the middle, there's kind of nothing. So that's kind of interesting that they chose to put absolutely nothing here. Whether we'll see that or not, we'll see here soon. It's going to be an EV. They say it's going to have about 400 miles of range. So how they're making these EV now is if you look at the new Cadillac that I did a video on that's like 350 grand, you'll notice that they're real long so they could fit more battery in. So here's interesting, the way the coupe looks great with each having a individual seat. And if you look at the back, this is what I mean. They put a ton of space in the back, and I think that's just to hide all the batteries. Now, this also shows a custom Lamborghini luggage set as well. Whether they're going to make this car and you get that, who knows, but that would be something pretty cool if they did. Now, next up is Tesla. Tesla's doing something interesting. They have what they call the Q and what they call the 2. I've heard price ranges starting around $25,000. Which is very low. That's going to eat into GM's and Hyundai's profits there if they do that. And to me, it's cool. It's a cool European looking coupe. You know, it's kind of like a wagon. It's kind of a crossover look. I think it looks good. Some people in the United States aren't necessarily into wagons as much or coupes as much, but I think it's pretty sweet looking, especially that angle right there. Super cool. I think they were going to launch it in Europe. I'm not real sure if this particular model will hit the United States or not, but it's going to be an entry level. Musk said they're going to be smaller and cost half as much as a 3 or Y to make. If you look at the Model 2 here, it looks very similar to a Model 3, but when you look at it from a different angle, like this coupe here, it's very cool, the renderings on this. This looks like it has the rear door that opens one way, like a Lincoln, and then this door here as well. To me, this reminds me a lot of what Volkswagen did with the GTI. If you look, probably about the same size as a GTI, I imagine, especially at that price point. If they're really going to do $25,000, that's a low price point for Tesla. But they could eat up a lot of market share. I mean, since they're the king of EVs, who wants to get a GM EV, a Kia, or a Hyundai when they can buy a Tesla around the same price? Now let's look at the Ford GTD. This is an interesting car. It's going to be about 800 horsepower. It's going to start around $300,000. They think that they now can make supercars to compete with Lamborghini and Ferrari. Time will tell, but it looks like, the base model $30,000 Mustang kind of souped up. Obviously, it's definitely souped up here, but if you're going to make a $300,000 car, why not make it look a little bit different? A lot different than your base models, right? Because there's people that can make a Mustang look very similar to this with body panels and etc. But they're saying it's going to be a street legal race car. What I do like about it, it's a 5.2 liter V8. It's not going to be another EV. So Motor Trend had these pictures out there, so we grabbed them from Motor Trend. I mean, it looks pretty fierce, but I'd love to see it next to a lot of normal Mustangs and actually see how much difference it looks, and whether it can command a price of $300,000. Obviously, it can command it with performance. It looks like they dumped a ton of performance into this car. They actually took a lot from their Ford GT3 race car and made it street legal. So as far as it being fast, as far as it having a lot of performance, this GTT will not disappoint in that department. But is someone going to buy this over a Lamborghini? I guess if you're a hardcore American fan, possibly, but there's a lot in that price range, Lamborghinis and Ferraris, McLarens, etc., in that price range. So can Ford jump into the supercar market and take over? Time will tell. But that's some recent car news, some pretty cool stuff coming out, and I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next one.